Hello and welcome to the SportsGrad podcast. My name is Ryan Walker and with me is the fearless Ruben Williams. How are you, mate?
G'day, Ryan. I'm fantastic. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to see your face on this podcast and hear your voice on this podcast too. But I'm very excited for this episode. I'm excited for every episode, in fact. But this one, I think, is going to open a lot of people's eyes and get them in the mood for what is possible with applying for all sorts of jobs.
I like these episodes where we just get to chew the fat. Highlight of my week, as we always say. So let's get cracking, my friend. But before we do, a message from our good friends at Deakin University, where every single course is backed by industry experts. So you can be confident you'll get the job you want with a degree that employers want. Deakin University, progressive real world learning.
And Ryan, a shout out to our good friends at Sports Where I Am, where you can give yourself a memorable summer, if it's not already a memorable summer, by heading to sportswhereiam.com and getting 5% off all your tickets. There's tickets all around the world. Use the code SportsGrad and go give yourself something memorable to look forward to, Ryan.
There's a few good little events coming up, so it's a great offer. If you want to learn more about who we are or want to ask us any questions, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. You can find a link to do so in the show notes. Alrighty, I like this topic. Let's get cracking into it. What is it?
So, Ryan, we've had a couple of questions come in, and they're from people who are sitting in jobs at the moment and thinking about their jobs in another place. And their concern is, I'm not qualified to do this job, but I really want it in the future. Should I apply? And the main point of concern here, Ryan, is that when you're in a job and you really want the other one, but you're not sure about it, you're in this comfort zone. You know, everything you've got around you right now is comfortable. It's fine. However, it's not what you really want unless you are in your dream job. You know, if you're in your dream job, you're probably not thinking about applying for that other job. But if you're not in your dream job, then it's always going to linger in your mind. And until you address it, it will forever linger in your mind. But because you have that job, you feel safe and comfortable. So there's no real motivation to actually get up and move. So today we're going to talk about a couple of reasons why you should get up and move and why it's not actually that risky at all. I think one of the first things that comes to mind for people who do think about applying for another job is their current workplace and their boss and everything they owe to them because they've given them an opportunity, they've supported them, they've helped them grow. If these people really support you and want to help you grow, then they will back you 100% in whatever space that you are going to grow. And usually that's a space that is uncomfortable, that's going to test you, and that is what you really want. And if that is in another organization, then they are going to be more than happy for you. They're going to support you. They're going to put your name forward when they get called to say, hey, can you give this person a reference? They'll give you an outstanding reference if they really want to support you. So do not let the opinions or, the potential opinions, these are or perceived opinions, unless you've actually tested it and asked your employer, hey, what do you think about me applying for this other job? And they say, no, I don't like that idea at all. Then I can almost 95% guarantee you they're going to support you. So do not feel bad for looking elsewhere because your employer will support you.
And if they threw it back and you said, why would you do that? That's no, you work here. Why would you want to leave? Then it's kind of like it's on them. Like that's their problem because they're not really being a supportive manager. Like that's not what anybody wants in a manager. Like obviously you want them to want you to grow. So if that is the case, it's kind of on them. It's kind of their problem, to be honest.
Like Ryan, when you resigned from Cricket Australia, what did your boss say to you?
It was nothing but positivity.
There's a quote. You told me a quote.
Yeah, no, it was. My manager said, "I'm not even going to try and stop you. That's amazing news." So, and immediately, I was just like, "Whoa, how good!" I just feel like I've got this backing.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, people out there who would do the same thing
Mm.
would get that backing. Like it's very unusual that you just get that thrown back at you.
And to add context to this, this is on the eve of the Ashes, the biggest test series for the second biggest sport in the world. Like it does not get bigger than this.
Mm,
You resigned in what, September, October, when everything's coming to fruition. They need account managers in those positions to make these $1 million commercial deals come to life. And your manager's saying, I'm not even going to try and stop you. Like, go and grow in this space over here. Go enjoy SportsGrad. Go do what you need
yeah,
to do. Like, that is exactly the kind of manager you want.
yeah,
And those are the people who are out there as well. So if that is a concern for you, don't worry about it because people generally want to see you grow.
mm,
The other thing about, all right, so you've addressed your concern, your organization's intact. Why should you then apply for this job over here? So one of the reasons why you absolutely should is because you will find out if you are ready for it or not. And if you get the
yeah,
job, you're obviously ready for it. If you don't get the job, you've then got feedback that you can use to then get the job down the track. What you don't want to happen is you don't want to wait a year or 2 years until your dream job comes up to then find out you're not ready. You
yeah,
want to find out if you're ready all the time. And the only way you do that is just by throwing your hat in the ring time and time again.
yeah,
And the other thing is, don't expect your dream job to become available regularly. Like, if it's available right now, go for it because I can guarantee you that it won't always be around forever. Like, if you have a particular role in mind at a particular organization, someone is going to sit in that job for, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And you don't want to be sitting back and saying, I just wish I had a shot because that could have
yeah,
been me. So throw your hat in the ring. The worst thing you can do is learn from, getting a rejection.
yeah. You know, the other thing with that is an interview. Like, say you apply for a job, random job, you might not be fully, you might not feel qualified for it, but you get the chance to get an interview, right?
Mm,
That is an opportunity. An interview, see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make an impact. So you may well not be qualified for that job fully. If you've got the self belief, you'll always be qualified.
mm,
But you get to walk into an interview, you get to speak to one, two, three people, it might be, and you get the chance to have an impact on them. So even if you don't get the job, if you back yourself and and say all the right things and present yourself in a really good way, then there's going to be other jobs available in that organization that they will pass your name onto the hiring manager, HR, whoever it might be. Because it might be a cliche that you hear when organizations say, we'll keep your name on file, we'll keep your details. Like, I get that people might think that's a cliche, but that is a genuine thing that they do. Like, they see
mm.
quality people. And if you're like 5% off being ready, then they're going to remember you. And if you have enough of an impact, they'll just pass you on to the next person and you'll probably get a phone call. So like
Absolutely.
that's what is the opportunity about going for these roles is like you get to
Mm,
meet people and have an impact on them,
absolutely. Like
even if you don't get the role.
you're dead set right. Like, um, the reason why I got brought into the T20 World Cup team quickly was because someone quit after one day. Someone in the marketing team quit after one day and went off to another job. They had to offer somewhere else. And I've worked with other people at Cricket Australia who um, who have been called back because the other person eventually left 6 months later. And so rather than go through the process again, they just called back the second person and said, hey, do you want it now?
Yeah.
The other part is that it's a genuine networking opportunity. Like you get to meet, say you're going for a cricket operations role, you get to meet the head of operations in the interview. If it
Yeah.
doesn't go well, you can just say, hey, can we have a coffee later and let's catch up and,
Mm,
maybe down the track we can work together.
yeah.
But
Th-
um,
There's
mm,
also times where, like, say you went for a role that is a step up, right? Say you're a coordinator, you went for a manager role or something of that description. There might be another role going that is on your level at the same time. So
mm,
you all like think of an interview as like you're also interviewing for the other roles that are that are currently available at that time because they'll probably just pass you on to that role. So it's an
Absolutely.
extension of what I said before, but it might be immediate. So don't
Yep.
see it as like I'm just going for this quick role. If I don't get it, great, I'm done. Bye.
Mm.
It's that's not what happens. It's
Yeah.
definitely not what happens.
Yep. 100%. That just triggered me to think of another example. So I think I was about a year and a half into Cricket Australia, and I really liked the look of the strategy team. And a role came up in the strategy team, and I threw my hat in the ring. And I got an interview and did my best in that, and I got some good feedback from that. But then got the call just to say, "Hey, Ruben, you're unsuccessful. However, we think you're doing all the right things. You're on the right track. You're probably just 2 or 3 years inexperienced." And that was brilliant feedback for me just to understand, all right, what does an organization look for in these types of roles? And how do I fit into that? And where am I? And what are the steps that I need to do to get there? So, um, yeah, again, this kind of comes back to the point where you just test and learn constantly to see where you're at until you get to your dream job, until you get to a place that you are truly happy with. Do not settle. Like, just
Mm,
do not settle. There is a dream job out there for everybody, and it is absolutely attainable. All you have to do is continuously throw your hat in the ring.
yeah. You could almost flip it around like, I'm not qualified. Why shouldn't I apply?
Mm,
What do you have to lose? There's
yeah.
absolutely zero. The only thing you've got to
Mm,
lose is if you let it bug you, the fact that you've applied for multiple jobs at one time. Who
mm.
like, who actually cares? Like that's
Seriously.
you say you're going for 5 jobs, that's 5 opportunities to have an impact on a group of people and expand your network out.
Well, that's the other thing. It's another 5 opportunities to iterate on your resume. Your
Yeah.
resume doesn't get better every single time that, say 2 years down the track, you decide you want a new job.
Mm.
You made one change to your resume in 2 years.
Yeah.
That it's gonna be at the same point as if you made that change a month later. Like,
Yeah.
your resume and the way you interview only gets better with reps. And so what is it
Yeah.
costing you? Like, what, 2 hours on a Wednesday night? Seriously, like,
Yeah.
just put the time in, throw your hat in the ring. You'll get better at communicating your value. That will then translate to how you communicate at work and in social settings and everything that you do. So just continue to throw your hat in the ring because it is costing you, honestly, probably a couple of hours, and the benefits are far outweighing the negatives.
Absolutely, mate. Well, that was a good episode. I love that. I love the topic, but some
Mm.
really good messages in there. So hope people take them on board. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.